doing paint zoom. Anyway, it's time for paint zoom. And we're going to do this.
Nice.
This is what I did, finished up over the week.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Wow, that's
Beautiful. Oh,
And
you got it to look translucent. It's really pretty.
well, I think it helped that the ribbon goes in back.
Yeah.
But you know, I thought the ribbon was going to be really easy.
Oh,
It wasn't,
It's really good.
because there's these dark spots, you know, there's dark bits and there's red bits, and it's in order for the ribbon to look three-dimensional, you have to figure out these dark bits and these light bits. So it turned out to be a lot harder than I thought. When we left it last week, I had goop on where the ribbon is.
yeah.
In some ways, that was so much easier than actually painting the ribbon. The ribbon turned out to be a pain. So that's what I did over the week. The other thing I did is I printed out my card.
Oh, lovely.
So you remember when we did this with the saran wrap
Mhm.
and so on. And so there's my Christmas card. That was my week. And thinking about this sort of. Flip this back up here. Where's the one that see? I have blank paper.
Wow.
Blank. But I have a piece of tape on the back of this one, because the way you do this birch tree
Mm-hmm.
is you rip your paper. You rip your tape, rather. Nice big piece of tape, which is not ripping very well. There we go.
What is that?
This is masking tape.
Oh, it's white though.
Oh, yeah, it's white. It's white masking tape. You can use blue. It doesn't matter, because the masking tape's going to disappear. That's it, Sally. Use your mouth. So then you do this, and that's so that you get the ragged effect of a tree. So there's my piece of tape, and I have these extra pieces of tape. This was a bad board because it's reflecting the light. I'm going to use the other board, even though this is the one I had set up for this. There, that's better. So here's my piece of tape. Now, which way do I want my birch tree? Well, it has to be that way. Do I want it on this side? I don't like this side. This side is too fat. No, that's the way it is. Okay. So I want to be sure that I've got enough space to have my mountains continue. There's my birch tree. You see that? Can you see the tape? It's really hard to see.
Barely.
I should use the blue tape. Let me see if I've got blue tape.
Once you put the background in, the white tape will show up.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Don't have to-
That's true. Now that I've got the blue
That's where we
tape,
got the idea of it.
it's like that. I'm going to use the white. You're absolutely right. It'll show up. And now, of course, the white tape is all tangled.
More texture.
This is one of these great things that you find out it doesn't really matter. We accept what it is. The painting is telling me things.
I have a very voluptuous tree.
Yeah. Oh, my tree is going to be very deformed.
Mine is really. I got
You
a
will
Charlie
see.
Brown tree.
Yeah, mine's sort of a Charlie Brown tree too. There we go. It's got sort of two little bits here. That's too low. Let's put it the other way. I'm piecing my tree together with bits of tape. That works too. There we go. That's gonna have to do. Okay, let's get a background on there really quickly so that you can see where my tape is.
Let's see here. What am I doing?
And do we want it to be a sunny day, or no? We're gonna have it snow, aren't we?
It
we
could
don't
still
want it
be
to-
sunny.
It snows. Well,
I'd like it to be
yeah,
dark and
that's
both.
true. I think I'm gonna do wet on wet. So there's my sky. Here's my blue. And where are my tissues? There's my tissues. Of course, we have to have clouds. There's got to be clouds for snow. There are my clouds. Maybe a little darker.
What shade of blue did you use?
I used started with phthalo blue and then I got into ultramarine. I have this pot has ultramarine on one side and phthalo blue on the other side.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's pretty.
Is that Virginia?
Yep, it's me. The ladies usual.
Ah, that's okay. Now, purple Mountains Majesty. I've got to make some purple.
My nose keeps running, damn it.
My red has become unattached. It's not stuck to the top anymore. Okay, so now here's my mountain.
Majesty.
Right. And I want to leave some white because it's snowy.
Yes.
Have you got a sketch under there, Elin?
No.
So what is that? What red
is
and
what?
blue? Your purple there.
It's purple. It's purple that I made. It's ultramarine and
Crimson.
red. I think it's probably permanent rose. And I'm going to take a dry brush and get rid of some of it.
Was that still the wet paper underneath?
Yeah, it's still sort of wet paper. This is, I didn't do the whole thing wet.
Oh.
I did it to sort of where I wanted my sky to stop. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. This one. I don't like it. I'm putting the purple back. I like that better. I think I like that better. Now I'm going to leave some space and I'm going to put sort of these same kinds of red bushes in, but I'm going to put snow on them. But I don't think I'm going to do that till I do my rocks. I'm going to have rocks down the bottom, and then the rocks down the bottom will have snow. And then because the bushes are sort of flicky, you know, and those are good later. And I'll probably do more rocks again. So I need a gray. Do I want a gray, green, red, green, gray? Or do I want my old favorite? I think I want my old favorite. This is getting to be such a mess. I never clean it up. Oh, here's my bluish side. And this is ultramarine. And true blue in order to make gray. I add orange. So that means burnt sienna. And if it's a little bit brown, that's okay because they're rocks. Maybe not that brown. Oh, I remember how we used to do the rocks. This is not how you do the rocks. I'm correcting myself. I had forgotten. Because you have this problem with them. Stay still, don't roll around. You have this problem with the rocks being in the forefront and you want to have the bushes in back of them and then the snow. So I'm making rocks with tape and now I'm using blue. And I'm sorry I forgot about that. So these are just randomly torn bits of paper, bits of tape that we make into rocks. I don't like that. There. Let's make that better. Okay. So then I don't do that. I do my bushy things next.
Uh-huh.
And I like the red bushes. And so I need a little flicky brush. They're red. Let's mix them with some brown. Oh, there's nice reds here. Because while they're very red, they're not cadmium. So let's dumb it down to a little green, which luckily is right next door. Like that red? Maybe a little more red, red, red. Real red. Maybe a little more blue in my red. There we go. I like that red. The other way to do this would be with a fan brush used on its side.
Ah,
Where'd the fan brush go? This one's a little sort of, which gives a sort of a bigger, but sort of fuzzier, and you can use them both, of course. So now go back to this. And what shall we put in the midground? Some snow. Snowbanks. Now, when doing snow, you don't ever want to do gray shadows. Oh, look, I've got red in my sky.
red at night, sailor's delight. Red in the morning, sailor take warning.
Red in a snowstorm in your sky is not good. You want to do your shadows in the snow, which I want to do sort of here. You want to do those in blues or purples. And I have a purple, so I don't want to use too much purple. Let's get some of this softened. I need a bigger brush. Oh, that's too red. That brush had red in it. This foreground mountain should probably have some fir trees. Maybe not, no, the tree line should be somewhere around here. But they're pretty little at this point. So I'm going to use some Hooker's green and take some of my red to make it gray out. And maybe a little bit of black. Okay, now. And I'm just using the shape of the brush. Until I get further down. And I'm developing the trees more on one side than on the other because I've decided that's where the wind comes from. And then some back here that are really just dots. They're not even triangles, they're just dots. On this side, on the other side of my tree. Some of my fatter things here, I want more red. I want more flicks over them. There we go. Not too bad. Not too bad. This is wet. I'm going to leave my tape on and make my tree branches because it's still very wet. And because it's going to be a birch tree, they're just going to be black. Okay. I've got some birch trees. I think I'm going to put some black twigs down here too. Whoops. Not enough water. There. Okay. Now, I don't know. I also realized I put the blue tape on top of the white tape, so I can't pull the blue tape off. So I think I'll do the rocks, since that's true. So now I'm going to take off my tape, my blue tape, also because this is much drier. That means I'll have to put rocks in freehand once I pull my tape up for the tree. Now we're remembering that we want snow on these rocks. So we've got a nice clean white line, but we need to have some, some rock color coming through. What do I want? A 4? And now I'll use my gray that I mixed up before and it got a little bit dry. My son tells me I do very bad rocks. But that's partially why I'm using more gray, because he says they look like horse poop.
They do sometimes.
Wonderful to have children who are critical.
Aren't all children critical?
Yeah, well, he's not a child either. He's a grown-up child.
They're the worst.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Okay, so I've got a little bit of, I'm using this old brown mixed in with my gray. Oh, and I wanted to score it with the credit card. Just a sec. Forgot that. I remembered it. I remembered that I wanted the credit card for the birch trees, but not for the rocks. So now I'm making gouges in the paper in my rocks. Not extending too much up into my snow, just a little bit.
You doing them after you've painted, Elin?
I did.
Is it better to do it before?
Well, I have to paint again in order for the scratches to show. You see how they're coming up now?
Mhm.
So it means that I'm painting it again.
Oh, I see.
Because I didn't do the scratches first. But, we know if we make a mistake, we just fix it. And of course, if you wanted white scratches, then you wouldn't paint over it, because these ones that I just did are a little bit white. I don't think you can see it. Can you see the white scratches?
Not
A
really.
few.
Not
A
really.
little bit.
Yeah, I didn't make many.
Mine looks like
Yeah.
something weird.
And now I'm going to stick a little bit of this rock color back in my bushes because the rocks continue. Where's the edge of my tape? Because I want the rocks on the other side of the tree as well. I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, now let's see about taking off the tree tape. Dun, 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 dun. Now, in one sense, it doesn't matter because we're going to destroy the paper anyway with our credit card. So there's my birch tree shape. Now, do I remember what I'm doing here? This is Ookie, this credit card. I am dipping my credit card into my paint. I've got to get some paint out here. Putting it in my gray. And I'm going to put some more of my brown. So we have some brownish and we have some blackish, brownish, blackish, grayish. Maybe a little bit of burnt sienna right there. Oh, and I read about a guy who used black and red to good effect. I'm going to try that
Uh-huh.
over here. Here's red. It's in my brown section. And now let's put some black there. Yeah, it's sort of nice color. I don't know. I don't think it's my favorite. So I get my credit card nice and gooped up. And I sort of, I forgot to score it. I want to score it. I'm going to score the tree mostly horizontally because it's a birch tree. You know how birches have those
Mhm.
scars,
Uh-huh.
maybe one or two little, verticals. I don't like the shape of that at all.
Mm.
I may have to change that. So now I'm taking my credit card and I'm taking some of my different blacks and browns and I'm squeezing it into the paper. And if I go over, it's okay, which is good because I just did. You get a very nice birchy kind of look.
Mm.
Doesn't seem to be, oh, that's too far over. My blacks are running together. And now I'm going to correct my bizarre tree here, I hope. Not worrying too much about it. And trying with my left hand because I'm coming from the opposite direction. It would be better to turn the paper over and use my right hand and try and come at it backwards. There, that corrects my bizarre branch there. I'm going to bring that down further. I'm going to make some more little scratches because my scratches are not really working. Let's see how that looks. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. And I think I want to do a little bit of smearing. Bigger brush than that. I want to smear just right along the edge a bit to make a shadow. And this is just a wet brush picking up the paint that's already there. And the other thing I want a little bit more black down the bottom. Okay. Now some of these have to come into the bark. Go back to my little brush. Where's my little brush? Did it fall down? No, that fell down, but it's not that. There it is. Okay. Now I need to have my rocks. I should have left the tape. Well, I couldn't leave the tape because it was on top of the tree tape. That's what happens when you don't think through your painting well enough. So let's do some rocks here. And this is actually taking off. In order to get rocks in front of the tree, in the foreground of the tree. I should have put the tape for the rocks first. And right along there, it has to be darker. Okay, so now we've got some rocks there. Snow. Snow. I am going to use white gouache. You can also use regular white, but I have this gouache already and it's wet. Oh, let's got white on it, red on it. So I'm taking my fan brush. I don't know if I'm putting more water in here. And the big thing I find is not to have a big glop, because I often have big glops. So I try very hard to wipe it off on the edge of the cover, jar cover.
Should have something like a toothbrush.
I know I can't find my toothbrush. I'm using a fan brush.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I have my toothbrush that I use for my teeth, but I'm not going to use that for my painting. I'm also going
Have
to
you
try.
worried there?
I'm going to try using this. Yeah, that works pretty well. And then my finger doesn't get so messy. Oops. So there's my snow. And I might do some more snow. I did this over by the couch before, and I realized I had just sprayed snow all over the couch. So I had to very quickly wipe it up. So I'm also going to put some snow sort of on my rocks with a brush. Especially the ones here in front of the tree that don't have, where I didn't preserve much white. And some throughout here. And some here. Just really close to the crotch of the tree, because otherwise you wouldn't have, these birch limbs don't support much. It's not going to show up in the cloud. Now you've heard me complain about not to use white, but when you're using white because it's a color in the painting, it's okay.
Ah, okay.
I know you were worried about that.
No,
No? Yes, the snow can be
you
white.
don't want yellow snow.
No, we
No.
don't want yellow snow. And we don't want to take our finger that's full of yellow paint and put it on the snow.
Right.
I've done it. And then I had to cover the whole thing with white. Okay.
Very nice.
So it's our fall tree in winter. Except now it has two things here, and it only had one in the fall. It suddenly grew another branch.
Right.
Good. Okay.
So when you were kind of flicking your brushes with the white in them, was that to make snowflakes?
Yes.
Because I can't see them from here.
Yeah. I don't know that even when I'm really close.
Oh, yeah.
Can you see on the purple? They're
Yeah,
sort of most
yeah,
obvious
yeah.
on the purple.
I see it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And up at the top, they sort of got away from me, but that's okay.
Mhm.
And against the black. That's why it's nice to have birches with black, because they're black, and then the snowflakes show up against them. I think the toothbrush makes a slightly bigger dot when you do snowflakes with a toothbrush
Right.
instead of a fan brush.
Mhm.
But hey, any brush in a storm, a
Absolutely.
snowstorm. Think about what you'd like to do next week. What would you like to do next week? It's too late for cards.
It is.
So
Not if you send them electronically.
That's true. That's true. And these kinds of things are very good for sending electronically because they look so much better.
They do. They do.
So, that's it.
Have a lovely. If I don't see everyone, have a lovely Christmas. I don't know.
Same to you.
I'll be in the UK next week.
Mm.
Take care.
Merry
you.
Christmas, Ellen.
Versus-
Bye.
The rest of you I'll see next week.
Yeah.
Right, okay, bye.
Bye, everyone.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Run away, run away.